Shalom, shalom, shalom. Glory and praise and glorification to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, BARAK, QADASH, and BARAK YAHAWAH, BARAK YAHAWASHI. Call name La Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, BARAK, QADASH, and the praise and glorification to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, BARAK, QADASH, and of course, in the morning, the Pastor Camille, son, teach you well. And I used to do a quick little read through of Ezekiel 38. It's real quick because World War III involving Iran and Russia is inevitable. There's nothing you could do to change it, alter it, stop it. Because this is biblical prophecy up in here. And they're trying to stop it with this little peace deal and all that shit. But just right now, they just struck Iran. So there ain't no peace in the Middle East. The Lord don't want peace in the Middle East. And in fact, let's just read it. Got a little pressed for time, but whatever. Ezekiel 38, verse 1, and the word of Yahawah came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith Yahawah power, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. Now turn thee back, and put hooks in thy jaws, and I'll bring thee forth, and all thy army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, in a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords, Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet, Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee. Now this is talking about Gog, is talking about Russia. Well, the Russians. Magog is Russia. Meshach and Tubal is Tuplix, Moscow. But the main point right there, all the way down here in verse 5, is Persia. Because Russia could be allied with Persia and all these other nations to do what? To go to war. Against who? Babylon the Great. You can read about that in Isaiah 13. But the main epicenter of that war could be in the so-called Middle East, in the land of Israel. Because we're going to keep reading on it and show you. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou guard unto them, because they're going to be the main shield. They got to drop the Ukraine stuff and go to war with them, but they got to go full force against the land of Israel, and really all against NATO. At the many days thou shalt be visited, in the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and has gathered out many people against the mountains of Israel. Now, this is where people get tripped up at, because that's what they think, it's talking about the small hats. No. It said brought back from the sword because only they got escaped from the world wars they're in. They feel protected and defended because they got the Iron Dome and shit like that. They got quote unquote peace. Because they think they're so well defended. It said those who are gathered out of many people against the mountains of Israel, because only you got a whole bunch of nations down there in that land right now. A whole bunch of Edomites and Ishmaelites down there in our land right now. Gathered together. Which had been always waste, but is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them. Now, that part right there is talking about Israel, because only all Israel can dwell safely. Those people are not going to be dwelling safely. They're not even dwelling safely now. Well, technically they are dwelling safely right now, but they're not going to be for long. They're most certainly not going to be that way for long. So right now they're good right now, but not going to be that for long when they have to get in there. Go actually full force against that little place, the little land of Israel. But the elect shall dwell safely, though. Because there are Israelites down there in that land as well. Thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land. Thou and all thy bands, and many people with thee. Thou shalt thus say of Yahweh power, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. Now, which is also talking about America, but you can apply it to Israel too, because that place ain't got no walls. They ain't got no real defenses. They got a little iron dome, but missiles get through that shit. No? I will go to them that are at rest, because only they're at rest right now. Now, they think they're good, and again, they think they're protected, because America got their back. Right now, they're trying to force America to get their back right now, because America's looking a little antsy, but they got to force their ass to get in there. Because they're tied to them. These leaders are bought and paid for, so they ain't got to let them go so easily. No, they got to be stuck with the land of Israel to the end, because that's their owners. That dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates, because they think they're good. Now they can go around occupying all these nations and shit like that. Now they think they're well defended and secure and at peace. Not for long. To take a spoil and to take a prey, to turn thine hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle and goods that dwell in the midst of the land. So gotta come against all their ass, man. Sheba and Dedan and the merchants of Tarshish, with all the young lions thereof, shall say unto thee, art thou come to take a spoil? Hast thou gathered that come thee to take a prey, to carry away silver and gold, to take away cattle and goods, to take a great spoil? So basically, got to destroy their ass and spoil them. Which is, again, this is talking about ancient world sense, because this is a vision that Isaiah is seeing. So he's seeing it, I guess you could say, and hearing it in the ancient world perspective, because it happened like that in the Bible, because obviously he didn't know about Russia, or the word Russia, or public relations during that time and shit like that. He is seeing this stuff, so he is going based on what he sees, and what he can relate to during that time. So, but during this time, they got to completely conquer and destroy that land. That we're about to read. Therefore, son of man, prophesy, saying unto God, thus saith Yahweh power, in that day when my people of Israel dwell safely, because again, there are Israelites down there too, and some of them are the elect, shalt thou not know it? And thou shalt come from thy place out of the north parts, thou and many people with thee, all of them riding upon horses, and a great company and a mighty army, and thou shalt come up against my people of Israel, because again, there's Israelite down there in that land. As a cloud to cover the land, and it shall be in the latter days, and I'll bring thee against my land, that the heathen may know me, when I shall be sanctified in thee, O Gog, before thy eyes. Thus saith Yahweh power, art thou he of whom I have spoken in old time by my servants the prophets of Israel, which are prophesying in those days many years, that I'll bring thee against them. And it shall come to pass at that time, at the same time, when God shall come against the land of Israel, saith Yahweh power, that my fury shall come up in my face, for in my jealousy and the fire of my wrath have I spoken. Surely in that day there should be a great shaking in the land of Israel, because the Lord God send nukes, bombs, and missiles to that land of Israel to blow it up. And that land's defiled anyway by bloodshed, fornication, and adultery, and all sorts of debauchery. The Lord got to take it out to cleanse it, man. I mean, look at Tel Aviv, man. So that the fishes of the sea, and the fowls of heaven, and the birds of the beasts of the field, and all creeping things that creep upon the earth, and all the men that upon the face of the earth shall shake in my presence. That's talking about nuclear destruction. At the same time when Babylon the Great is destroyed. And the mountain shall be thrown down, and the steep places shall fall, and every wall shall fall to the ground, so the Lord can completely decimate it. And I'll call for a sword against him throughout all my mountains, save Yahweh power. Every man's sword shall be against his brother. Talking about what? A nukes. So what's their sword? The missiles, bombs. No. Now, let's keep going. And I'll plead against them with pestilence and with blood. And I will rain upon him and upon his bands and upon the many people that are with him, and overflowing rain and great hailstones and fire and brimstone. So chariot fire, nuclear missiles. No, chariot fire like laser beams. You don't know. No, you read about that in Habakkuk 3. Talking about the horns coming out of their hands. You look that up. Get that word for horn in the Hebrew. It means rays of light, beams of light. And you go further into Habakkuk 3. It talks about how the Lord got to bring mass destruction with what? The rays of light, the fire. Isaiah 66 and 15. Thus will I magnify myself and sanctify myself, and I'll be known in the eyes of many people, many nations. They shall know that I am Yahawah. So that's exactly what the Lord got to bring to that land. No nuclear destruction. And the Lord got to say the elect from among those people over there. Because there are Israelites over there, and there are elect Israelites over there, and that's what it's talking about over here. Because they are coming against Israel too. The actual Israelites over there in that land. Because we're scattered across the four corners of earth. Deuteronomy 28:64. Well, Lord Nerified, cooling on praise and glorification to Yahawah, Shemel Shah, Shem QADASH, and Shalom.